Alright, there it is, the V-twin Predator horizontal shell. I'm going to put this beast inside a Cub Cadet, and hopefully this Cub Cadet will last for a long time. My boss has allowed me to use his warehouse here to get everything. And then here's the platform for the bottom of the engine, a drawing of the bolt holes in the bottom of the engine. So, this is going to be it. Can't wait. The cool thing about this engine has an oil pump and an oil filter. Right there's an oil filter. So I won't have any more of those problems I had going on a sideways hill. The problem I had was as you're mowing grass on the old Kohler engines, when you're on a hill, all the oil will drain to one side and starve the engine, and it starts to overheat, ruins the crankshaft. Eventually the motor just craps out. I did not know this, or I wouldn't have mowed that hill like that. But I got 2 acres and I gotta have something, so this will eliminate that whole problem with it being on a hill when I mow. Alright, back to work. Alright folks, we're back at the tractor. We got everything off of here except for the bolts that hold the engine down. We're going to try to get those today and see if we can lift this out of here somehow. Got an oil pan. I should probably drain that oil first off the bat. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so we got to drain the oil. And we have an oil drain line in this tractor. It attaches right here. It goes into the tractor. So, bigger than a 3/4. 7. Now we're going to look for the correct wrench for the engine mount holds out. The engine mount bolt. So it's 9/16. I got one of them out. Do we do the rest? Alright, now we gotta lift this up so this axle can tilt so we can get to the bolts that are underneath that axle there. Don't know how to do that. I'll Oh, the cable while I find a jack. Well, we don't have a jack. We don't have jack stands, and I can't get those 2 bolts out of there without that. So I'm gonna drive back to my house and get the jack and the jack stands. Alright, so we got the jack stand under. The jack over here is protecting it. We'll put this cap back on. So we got a 9/16 right here. And this is the reason to jack it up so you can drive this tire down. It looks like I'm going to have to take this tire off. Take this other one off.
Doubt we can get a socket. I said we do this before, so. Question is, will the wrench fit? And there is no way to get up there. These wrenches won't fit like the good old craftsman do. So they're pretty much screwed. Got a little tight on it. Coming. Not enough room to get my hand in there to finish it. Go to the,
So this is the second engine bolt. And I'm going to pull it out.
The engine mount button. So this time. Ooh, that hurts your hand, man. Second one. All right, so anything we got left here? I think that's all of it. All four with a 916.
Now we're going to put the wheels back on and try to lift this motor out of here.
There's my reposition the camera. Alright, you gotta take the motor out. I usually use bolts. Don't know if I have one long enough without taking off the whole head. Now they're not long enough, I gotta take off the whole head. So let's take off the whole head. The engine's froze up anyway, the crankshaft's frozen, so it don't matter if we're taking this head out. it's just the crankshaft and it froze up. So our next alright, gotta get the jack handle out of my truck, so I'm gonna pause the video. Alright, couldn't find a jack handle, but I found one at the company down here. So let's get this thing. Alright, I'm gonna put all these bolts back in here so we don't lose any. Just slightly tighten, put them back in. You gotta hand it with that. So, I'm going to try to find 4 even spaces. This one right here is one. Lower it down just a touch. Now theoretically this thing should just lift out of there, but life never seems to be that easy. We could catch on that oil line down there, but we'll find out here real soon. We might have to take that thing off. I'm not sure. Is that oil? So this oil line catching. I don't know if I can get that off of there. It's got a double thing on it here. Just a little jiggle. It came right out. Alright, so we have successfully removed this engine. We'll take a pause. We'll see if we can pick up that Predator engine that's sitting there. Alright, now you can see better. There's no way to get that in there without taking that front wheels off. So, that's as far out as that arm will go. I really don't have no other way around it, so let me pause this video and figure something out. Alright, so we're going to jack that front end up. anyways, I'm gonna put these bolts back in here. So when it comes time to put shit back on, I ain't going, hey, where's it at? Okay. All right, now we're gonna set this thing in here just to see if it'll fit, what it's gonna look like, blah blah blah. Give you guys the bird's eye view there. Let's just slowly get this in here. All right, that looks about as low as I'm going to be able to get it. But we got to notch out the sides a little bit for the alternator or the starter.
don't know yet. Well, it's a tight fit, man. But I know that starter's going to hit for sure. And you can see it's just not got enough room. So we're going to jack it up, put a plate under it, and set it on top of a plate. All right, I got a temporary piece of scrap metal sitting in there. We're going to lower it down so this ain't sitting on the boom all right. All right, all we got to do is notch out each side, one side for the oil filter and one side for that starter, and it should drop down there almost perfectly to where you could bolt it to the plate mounted on the original engine mounts. We're going to find out.
But that's about right. If I put the PTO on, oh shoot. And that PTO will fit. The belts will work. We got a little bit of room to slide back. The only thing I don't see working is the alternator. Okay, folks, here's a Predator engine. The only problem I see is the alternator is not going to have room for the belt on this side. And that's the kit they sell. But got plenty of room on this side to put the alternator over here. But I still don't think the pulleys are gonna pass that, are gonna beat that hydraulic cylinder right there. Now that hydraulic cylinder does not move. The hydraulic cylinder goes in and out that way, so this part is stable. Right here, this doesn't move at all. So that part doesn't move, but the cylinder does go in and out that way. But this part stays stable. So, I don't know what to do. Might have to get the flywheel kit. For this motor. But we won't know till we get it to sit down in there, because once you set it down in there, it might clear. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we got enough room for that pulley once it sits down in there, because we got to drop it 6 or some more inches. So the pulley will clear on this side, maybe the other side. We won't know yet. But it looks like once we drop it down, we might have the room for that alternator, but we will find out. If all else fails, we'll just put it on this side and make some kind of brackets for it. And if
that don't work, we'll get the flywheel adapter kit. Looks pretty cool. Got a little gap in there where their crankshaft is got a secondary spot there where it's bigger. It looks like the drive shaft, which is laying right there, will line up with the center of the engine. And we can still slide the engine over a little bit if we have to. And get it in focus. It's way down there. And it's lining up with the center screw here, so all that should work. We might have to cut the drive shaft down a little bit. But we'll find out. And that pulley for the flywheel, I mean the alternator, will probably still work, but we're probably going to have to put it on this side. And we'll find out when we get it all together. But that's it so far. It's sitting, resting, it's resting on the frame. And gotta take that metal out and cut this where this oil filter is. We'll have to cut a little slot there in the frame. And on the other side, we'll have to cut a bigger slot. Where the alternator is, and that little thing right, my finger's in the way, little thing right there, have to cut, so we'll have to cut this down. And we'll mark it all and get it all ready. But that's what it's going to look like. It'll sit down low enough where the hood will shut. That's for sure. Pretty sure I got enough room for a gas tank once it gets down. If not, we'll build a custom gas tank, put it on the fender back here. That's it, man. It's going to be very cool. I'm glad the PTO came out to where we got enough room for it. That's the big wig there. So we'll move it on. Give y'all a good look around before I head home. I'm through for the day. I can't do more until we get a cutting torch or plasma cutter that we can use to cut out the slots. Looks like everything will fit. That muffler might hit, but I doubt it. It's going to drop down. It might hit the hood pieces, but that don't matter. We'll put a different muffler on it if that's the case. Let's do you a little walk around here. Predator engine and a Cub Cadet. And once this all gets working, this winter I'll take it all apart and paint it and put the decals back on it, except it's going to say Predator, it's going to say instead of 1650 it'll be a 2250. Hydrostatic transmission. So before y'all comment that don't fit, it's still got to drop down another 6-7 inches there, and it will fit as far as the hood goes. The muffler, I'm not quite so sure that the muffler's going to fit. So we'll leave the front hood off until we can get another muffler. and put it on there. Sure does look good in there. But that ain't too bad, man. That metal plate's just temporary, you know, to set the engine down over the weekend so that there's no pressure on the hoist here. PTO lines up with the lines I made. Put a line right there. And if you look at it, that's where the belt goes, the old PTO went. So it's in line with that, and we'll make sure it sits right. Figure next weekend, that'll be where we get it all in there. All right, I'm heading back home.